Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive historical mystery. We're looking at a high-ranking ancient Roman official who put absolutely everything on the line to join a young, heavily persecuted faith. This is a story about power, secrets, and a historical plot twist that'll really make you rethink what it means to hold public office.
Picture the ancient city of Corinth for a second. It's bustling, right? Filled with wealthy merchants, sharp politicians, sailors, and philosophers just constantly crossing paths. It's kind of like the ancient equivalent of Wall Street mixed with Las Vegas. Now imagine what happens when one of the most powerful government leaders in that exact city joins a fiercely opposed and widely misunderstood movement. It literally sounds like a historical thriller, but the crazy thing is, the sources tell us it actually happened.
So, that brings us to our first section, the mystery of Erastus. Our story kicks off with a hidden figure who shows up in just a single verse of ancient text. But man, his story speaks volumes about society, power, and faith back in the first century. Take a look at this tiny yet monumental detail dropped by the Apostle Paul in his letter to the Romans. He simply writes, "Erastus, the city treasurer, greets you." At first glance, it sounds like just a passing greeting, but it immediately tells us that Erastus was not your average laborer or some wandering philosopher. As the city treasurer, he held a massively prestigious office that required profound integrity. He managed Corinth's public funds. That put him in direct, daily contact with the absolute most influential and wealthy people in one of the Roman Empire's richest cities. Make no mistake, he was a very big deal.
Moving on to section 2. Status, wealth, and risk. Let's talk about the ultimate stakes here. Because in Roman society, wealth, influence, and honor, those were the ultimate currency. They literally defined your entire reputation and your life's worth.
And early Christianity was an incredibly unpopular opposed movement. Aligning with it could destroy a politician's career and social standing overnight. We're talking ridicule, social rejection, and outright persecution. For a public official like Erastus, the risk wasn't just a demotion, it was total, utter ruin. Yet, decades later, there's a second passing mention in 2 Timothy, and it proves this wasn't just some temporary emotional phase or a passing fad. The text notes that he remained in Corinth, which shows us this became a lifelong, faithful commitment to his new community. He weathered whatever political storms came his way. All right, section 3, the archaeological evidence. This is where things get really cool, because we bridge ancient text to the modern world with an unbelievable physical discovery. Archaeologists actually unearthed a stone inscription in ancient Corinth, and it physically links a wealthy official named Erastus to massive, privately funded public works right in the heart of the city. The stone basically says he laid an entire pavement at his own expense to secure his office. This office was called an aedile, a highly prestigious Roman magistrate in charge of public works, streets, and festivals. Now, scholars do debate whether the biblical Erastus and the aedile Erastus are the exact same guy. But even so, the undeniable overlap of public office, the identical name, and the sheer display of Corinthian wealth paints this remarkably rich picture of the world he operated in. Which leads us to section 4, power versus humility. To really grasp his radical choice, we have to balance the immense prestige of his civic office against the extraordinarily humble message of a savior born in a manger and crucified on a Roman cross. Think about the stark juxtaposition he lived every single day. The Roman world admired raw power, status, and dominance above everything else. But Jesus, he taught radical humility. So here is Erastus navigating this ruthless culture of power, but doing it with a completely transformed heart. While the empire was busy celebrating status and earthly glory, his new faith welcomed servants and called people to self-denial. He had to realize that true greatness could never be measured by political titles or getting applause from the Corinthian elite. It was only measured by faithfulness. And this dynamic totally shifts our understanding of the early church. Look at the early followers: fishermen, tax collectors, physicians, soldiers, businesswomen, and city officials. It shows that the movement called people from absolutely every socioeconomic background. It tells us that authority and wealth aren't inherently rejected. You're just asked not to let those things become your ultimate master. Let's look at section 5, the modern workplace mission. This isn't just some ancient history lesson. It directly challenges how modern professionals balance their secular careers with their personal convictions today.
The overarching takeaway here is super direct. Whether you're in business, law, education, or healthcare, you don't have to abandon your career to serve faithfully. In fact, your workplace itself can become your primary mission field.
Imagine the daily choices he faced, and honestly, the ones you probably face today. Managing finances honestly, treating people fairly, resisting corruption, living with integrity. His faith didn't make him abandon his public responsibilities. It completely transformed how he fulfilled them, especially in a culture where power almost always led to pride. And that leads to this incredibly powerful realization. Erastus performed no documented miracles. He preached no famous sermons, but his name was preserved forever. Why? Because the movement values the faithful servant whose name the rest of the world might easily forget. You know, history loves a celebrity, but heaven celebrates faithfulness.
So this explainer leaves us with a pretty tough question to chew on. What are we truly willing to risk for our beliefs? When our earthly comforts are literally on the line, how deep do our convictions actually go? Would we choose Christ over our reputation and popularity? Would you be willing to walk away from social approval or the constant praise of your peers just for the sake of your convictions? That's a heavy question when you really sit with it.
How about choosing Christ over a promotion and personal ambition? Erastus apparently did exactly that. He found a purpose infinitely more valuable than public honor, and he directed all the attention away from his own resume toward a much higher calling.
At the end of the day, whether you are famous or entirely unknown, a blue-collar laborer or a high-level executive, the invitation remains exactly the same. Follow Christ and discover a purpose far greater than any earthly title could ever provide.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought as you step into your own workplace today. If you were remembered for just one hidden act of faithfulness, what would it be?